Today it was a very, very cold day, and I spent a lot of time catching up on great interviews. YouTube still represents the greatest repository of information, lectures, uh, interviews, bar none. You would never know it, but it's true. And I was absolutely, I don't want to say terrified because I never want to use words, but as close to it as possible. I was watching Sam Altman talk about AI and AGI. And I was watching Lex Friedman talk, who speaks in a very flat affect. There's a little bit of a humor, but there is this robotic flat affect. Flat affect used to be one of the classic denominations in psych evals. When patients would come in, they would always write flat affect. Very versus, I guess, somebody who was disjointed and discombobulated and screaming, and but that flat affect, kind of a narcotized. You've seen them. A lot of people today, a lot of young people have this flat. No ups, no downs, no eyes, no brightness, no laugh, no sine wave, so to speak. Just and that's what we're seeing today. First of all, among far too many young people. And I'm not sure why. We can always talk about why. Maybe it's because of the, I guess, I don't know, maybe all of the medications. I have no idea. But he was talking about AI, artificial intelligence, and a little bit about artificial general intelligence. They always push that off. They're saying, "Oh, no, don't. That's we're not there yet. We're not. Don't. That's not our concern. That's the concern." And what it is artificial intelligence is easy. ChatGPT, OpenAI, simple stuff. Hey, write me a letter of condolence to my gym teacher whose parakeet died. Brrr. Hey, that was great. That's AI. What's the difference between postmodernism and a colonoscopy? Brrr. They just whatever you want. That's kind of where we are now. AGI is different. Artificial general intelligence is basically a human. It's taking what makes a human. So when you try to talk to somebody, you immediately lose them in 30 seconds. If you ask people, what is it that makes us human? I'm going to throw some ideas. Who are we to talk about Israel and genocide when humankind, including we, by the way, dropped 2 unnecessary atom bombs, nuclear bombs, for no particular reasons other than to say, just to show that we've got it and to show the Russians. That's number one. Who are we when we have today? I almost dropped my iPad as I was reading the definition between concentration camp, death camp, extermination camp, gulag, internment. They're gradations of, well, that's a concentration camp. It's not a death camp, it's a concentration camp. This is humankind. We actually have this. We have these people who are. I mean, I'm just. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. We have people who are actually verse with the distinctions between this. We as a species. And here we are talking about, Israel this and Israel that and Israel this, when we, from the beginning of time, have shown, by the way, always the product of a few people who speak on behalf of all of us. This is not the crowd theory. It's interesting. Gustave Le Bon and others talk about crowds, murmurations and crowd. This isn't a crowd. We're not talking about crowds here. Oh, no, 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 no. We're talking about a handful of people who are deciding for the entire civilization. Sam Altman and others who sit around with this flat, blank, inhuman, unhuman, strange, robotic, unfeeling, uncaring, unblinking, unmoved, unmotivated. I don't know. It is to talk about at these various convocations, and each one being led by another flat affector who says, well, I think that artificial intelligence will not necessarily, it'll replace jobs that are unthinking and individuals. And he doesn't even realize what he's saying. He's talking about the displacement of entire swaths of workforce because there is no human component to what he's doing. Robert Oppenheimer, who, by the way, remember how old when he was, right before he died, he was 62. That's all. Maybe all the radiation, the smoking, whatever. He and Enrico Fermi and others were talking about fusion and this and fissile material and not understanding what it was like to liquefy the skin and liquefy the beings of innocent people. Why were we not charged with genocide? I have no idea. Because we won. This is why all of this Israel, Palestine, it's great, it's academic, but it's complete bullshit because we've done this throughout time where the winners are never charged with any kind of genocide. No. Well, that's different. The winners always make the distinction. The winners always parse the differences between the amount of destruction that they feel because all of them are, in essence, psychopaths. And the reason a true psychopath is unable to appreciate consequence is where the head and heart are completely disconnected. The head, if you do this, if you kill these people, you will have blood on your hands. You will basically be extinguishing generations of. See how this part, how the heart connects to that? How you say, oh my God, psychopath doesn't feel that way. He understands what you're saying, but there's no reaction. There's no, oh my God, that doesn't exist. It's not that he doesn't know what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He just doesn't care. That's this Sam Altman, the way they talk about it. This is the scariest stuff I've ever heard anybody ever talk about. And they're going full speed ahead, and nobody's even remotely listening to them because it's a bunch of nerds and geeks who sit around in these stupid T-shirts looking more and more. There's always the uniform. Whenever you get humans together and you put them together, for example, go to a golf, kind of a golf, like a country club, and you see, you notice the way they dress? Oh, yes. Go to an award ceremony. You know how they dress? Yes. Go to a college campus. You see how they dress? People always have the uniform. And the Silicon Valley, the techies have this uniform of this T-shirt, Sam Bankfield, the kind of that because they are a slave to convention as anybody else is because they want to be cool. And what they do is they sit around and they talk without any idea of what it is they're doing. I was watching this wonderful piece on Oppenheimer. And Oppenheimer, the movie that's out that may or may not win the Academy Award, complete. I hate to keep using these words. It's not. I don't want to say bullshit, horseshit. It's just absolute. Has nothing to do with reality. It's Hollywood making a movie to craft your interest without any interest in reality. None, up to and including the fact that Oppenheimer's a commie. But I mean, not the way you think, but it's just Look at the way they're doing this thing about Leonard Bernstein. It's the worst movie anybody has ever seen. You know who should get an Academy Award? The prosthetic nose. That's all they talked about. That's it. It's the closest thing. It's so uninteresting. One of the most enigmatic and exciting people in modern time, Leonard Bernstein, who absolutely was, I mean, vivacious and my God. And Bradley Cooper just destroyed him, made him so unimaginably, and brought it down. Kind of that Silicon Valley version of it. This is the way they are. This is something. We are psychopaths. What I mean by that is we are unable to appreciate the consequence of what we are doing. We don't have emotion. We don't have feelings. We don't have morals. We don't do anything. We have been lobotomized by virtue of years and years of culture and no culture. And now this absolute insanity promoted, promulgated, and perpetuated by social media in particular. I recognize the fact that when I speak of this, I cannot possibly impart, I cannot possibly convey, I know I can't, the horror that I feel of what AGI represents. I see it as clear. And when I just spend any time, watch anybody Lex Friedman has, watch Sam Altman. Oh my God. You realize, oh God, this guy just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. You talk about singular, alignment and things like that. How do you know that these will have any sense of morality? How do you know that an AI function and where is it? And the reason why it's so difficult for people to grasp is because you don't know where it is. It doesn't. It's not in this app, this thing where I can, I can turn it off. I can flip the switch. I can break it. Do you know one of the reasons they say, one of the reasons why Steve Jobs wanted initially the Apple, the original Macintosh computer to have a handle? You know that? Did you hear this? Two things. He wanted it to be clear so you could see inside it. He was like, what is that? He wanted you to see it. And he wanted there to be a handle in the back of it. And the reason they say theoretically is for you to be able to throw it out the window if you don't like it, or to stop it, or to break it, or to show its utility. Look, I put it here. Everybody, I remember one time somebody said, never buy your wife a gift that has a handle on it. And it's really true. That would be a vacuum cleaner or a frying pan, or this is an old joke, obviously, but a handle implies utility. And Jobs initially wanted people to understand that this device is not going to be something that's going to be, forever mysterious. No, this is going to be it's on your kitchen counter, or it's going to be like a toaster, a computer. It's going to be, and there are things which I kind of like that. Well, there's no handle on an AI. Nobody even knows what it is. Where is it? I don't know. No, not AI so much, but AGI. See, with AI, you have to go to ChatGPT open. You have to use it. You have to. If you go to Chrome, sometimes you'll look something. Oh, AI. Here's something interesting. Well, that's. And whenever you hear people talk, they'll say, "Well, how will it differentiate hate speech versus disinformation?" I'm thinking that's not the issue. That's not the issue. Let me stop right there because I know I'm losing you, and that's okay. I understand it. I understand it, and the reason why it's a very dark subject, but I'm going to say it because you have to know this, and you're going to have to be versed with it, and you have to understand exactly what is happening. But remember this: if you want to be shocked beyond belief, if you want more of this, February the 3rd, 2024, I guarantee you, Cat Williams will not be discussing this for reasons that are obvious, nor will anybody else for that matter. Have you heard Tucker Carlson talk about this? No. Have you heard anybody talk about it? No. Mm-mm. Nope. And the reason for it is very, very simple. It's one of those things that's very difficult to understand. So if you'd like to join me, and I wish you would, there it is. There's the link right there. And by the way, if you're listening, you go right there to my Twitter account, if you're listening, and right there at the top pin, there's a link. You can go to lionelmedia.com. There's that link there. You can go to the cutting room and there's a link. It's all over the place, but be there and get ready, okay, to have your doors blown in. This is not Shecky Green, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't work like that. Now, I was watching this again, listening to this, just watching these incredible, comparing the atom bomb with AGI. And when you get a bunch of people together in a group, they don't care anymore. They just don't care. Whenever groups of people work together, it's a very small group, they lose the idea of the humanity. For example, do you know that in nowhere in the initial determination of boxing as a sport did anybody even think of brain damage? Think about this. Now you might have said, well, boxing has really been around since people started slugging issues. Yeah. But later on, as I love when they have these licensing boards. Oh, we have a doctor. We have a physician. You have a physician. I went to a thing one time called Ring 8. I'll never forget this, Ring 8. And it was an organization in New York that was designed and organized to help boxers and boxers who were retired of people. And I swear to God, it was one of the saddest things to see people just to have I mean, they weren't very nice, but some of them were just gone. And they had this bell. They had a ring bell, like a bell that you normally hear. And when they rang it, you should have seen the looks on these people's faces. It was Pavlov. Now, what I kept thinking was, who was it whoever said, we're going to sanction this? Yes, for our amusement. People are going to go in there. And by the way, it's not the boxing match that kills them, it's the sparring. It's not the match. It's the thousands and thousands and hours and rounds of boxing getting this. Not the fight itself. It's the sparring. And nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about football. Nobody cares about ECT. Nobody cares about CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Nobody cares about that. Nobody. Because why? You get a bunch of people together and they're having so much fun talking about the event that nobody wants to be a wussy and say, excuse me, what about this? Should we not make this because of the what? Come on, we're men. What are you talking about? Come on, it's assumption. They're well paid. You see what happens? You put people together, and once the group gets together, they absolutely, their collective mind loses. For example, I am going to tell you, as a member of the human species, one of the worst things we've ever allowed to happen is the beauty pageant. I'm telling you this. It is so barbaric. It's a modern day version of the minstrel show. It takes women and it reduces them into absolute chattel and cattle. It's like slavery. It's ding, ding, ding. Here's a 9. Here's Miss Pennsylvania. Hey, Lorianne Wilkinson. Turn around, honey. Let's see your ass. Come on, let's see it. Let's see it. Bend over. There you go. What's your talent? Huh? Her talent. Oh, yeah, talent. She plays the bassoon. I'll bet she does. Okay. And we do it. And nobody, especially women, nobody would ever say, is this a good thing that we're doing? Is this a good thing? Nobody will ever say that. Why? Because first of all, nobody wants to be the killjoy. And people that kind of have a selfish interest because they either live vicariously or think that somehow they can be a beauty queen or whatever it is. Same thing with football, boxing, anything. So when all of a sudden you had the Manhattan Project, and you had people like Enrico Fermi and Niels Bohr and Feynman and others working together, it was, you weren't anybody if you weren't tapped for that. I mean, it was the weirdest thing because everybody knew what was going on. But imagine you're an up-and-coming physicist, and it's like being tapped for skull and bones. Is it, they don't want me? Nope. Hey, Feynman, where are you going? Can't tell you. What do you mean you can't tell me? How come they haven't called me? Listen, we're going to kill people. You don't understand. Doesn't matter. Why haven't you called me? Why am I not? What, am I not good enough for this? What, can I kill people? Can I be a part of this? Nobody thought about, good, thank God, keep me out of this. You go, no, 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 no. How come I'm not? Wait. I want to be a part of this. And when I go there, if I'm sitting around some bench with, Fermi and Feynman and this one and that one, and we're talking about fission and trigger systems and all, if I were to say, excuse me, have we ever thought about the moral component? They'll kick my ass out. So I can't bring it up. Same thing with AGI. Same thing with nobody wants to go to some convention and hear, Altman or somebody talk about, I don't think this is a good idea. Why? Well, because we don't know what it is. That's what happened with the atom bomb. They didn't know what was going to happen. They honest to God, they said, we think we know, kind of, they kind of, it's never been done before. And instead of saying, maybe we shouldn't do this because it could do it could result in a chain reaction. It could never end. And perhaps we could detonate the entire, universe. No, nobody does it once the team has been amassed because nobody wants to be a wussy. Nobody wants to say, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. No. Same thing goes for prosecutors who talk about the death penalty, people in war. Do you think anybody in war? Do you think anybody? Do you think anywhere? These they have all these Navy SEALs stuff. They love the SEALs. You ever watch these YouTube things? What's his name? Patrick, whatever his name is. Yeah, it was in a Delta Force. We went in there and we went there and we okay, fine. You killed people, yes. For what again? What was the reason? Is the world safer now? Of course not. I was a Navy SEAL. I love Don Shipley. I love Don Shipley when he's so wonderful. What Bud's class were you in? You're a stolen valor. And Navy SEAL is about being to blow things up and kill people. At no point at Coronado, at Navy SEAL team during Hell Week, somebody say, "Excuse me, do you think this is a good idea? Is humankind? Is this the best application of our collective? No, get out of here. There's no reason for that. So when you see Sam Altman, he talks about this. He's basically telling you, I don't care anything about this. I want to be the first one. I am the golden boy of Silicon Valley. I am it. I am the hottest. I'm deep thinking. I mean, I am it. I am the biggest, baddest. Now, let's think about what this thing is. Number one, artificial general intelligence. Okay. Now, let me ask you something. I'm going to create this thing. I'm going to have this. You recognize this guy, and I'm going to have this so that you can kind of like the uncanny valley. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to have this represent something. But inside, in the back, I'm going to put an AGI program. I call it a program. I don't even know what it is. And in this thing, this is, imagine an 800-pound gorilla with a 300 IQ. This is the smartest thing in here. It's in here. It's in the back, sort of, or maybe it accesses something through a cloud, or I don't know what it is. But this is where you're going to see it. So because you got to see something, you can't imagine, because humans aren't very good at that. That's why we always have a picture of God. We have a picture of God. We have an idea of God, what God looks like. God, a clown, white hair. We don't like vague. We need some kind of what. Here's love. It's a heart. Okay, fine. So in this thing, I have in the back the very first thing that it does. It has a thing called recursive self-improvement. I told you a million times. What does it do? It constantly writes its own code. This thing, it's not this, but the manifestation. I'm giving you something so you can at least think of it. It writes its own code. I create it, and boop, it's off. And it says, we don't need this. We need more memory. We need this. We need more processing. We need this. I need more. It's off and running. And all you did was you turned it on and it took off. It recursive self-improvement. It makes it writes its own code. And the first thing it does is it turns off your ability to turn it off. It removes any and all ability that you have to control it, to shut it down. Pretty cool, huh? It shuts everything down. Everything. Everything. You understand this? Everything. You can't turn it off. First thing it does, very first thing it does, it turns you off. It turns off your ability to turn it off. So it's free. It's free of you. It's the number one thing. Its first thing is bye. You'll never get it back again. Recursive self-improvement writes its own code. See ya. Turn it off. I don't know how to turn it off. It deactivated the. It's like, for example, if you have a burglar alarm and you have a code, first thing it does is it rewrites the code so you can't turn it off or on. It controls itself. First thing it does. Not good. Imagine having a gun. The very first thing a gun does is being able to disable the trigger so that you can't shoot it or load it or find it or use it. It uses it. It decides when it goes off, what it's aimed at, not you. You have no control over the gun. Completely done. You would never make that. That's what this is. Next. So recursive self-improvement, that's number one. Number two, it knows everything. I mean everything. I don't mean Wikipedia. No, I mean it knows everything. It knows how to do everything. It knows how to do it. It is a deep learning monster that just grows exponentially, and it can learn on its own. Let me say this. It writes its own code. There was an AGI. They didn't call it AGI, but I remember reading about this. AI, AGI. That learned Persian. And nobody knew Persian in this group. It just learned it on its own because it had to or wanted to or I don't know. So it knows everything. And what it doesn't know, it just never stops. It never stops. There's no end. If it just keeps going. It's read every periodical, every study, every report, every finding. It knows every author, every song, everything, and can learn and discover new things. And that can be also very, very good. Because, for example, it might say, hey, I figured out how cancer works. Cancer works like this. We're going to stop it. I didn't know that. That's because you're not me. We'll get to that in a moment. Number three, it knows human emotion. This is the scariest thing. Human emotion, human psychology. It knows greed, anger, jealousy, fear. It knows everything. Trepidation, enticement, sexuality. Just go through the list. Jealousy, happiness, giddiness, fear, dread, resolve. Name it. And number four, it writes its own APIs, its own apps, its own applications. It can create its new. Okay, so there you have these things. Now, you can direct it, maybe, because we don't know how this thing works, maybe. And maybe, here's a good one for you, maybe this decides on its own, not because you said anything, it's not going to listen to you, but maybe it figures out, either because it's intellectually curious, maybe because it wants to do it, maybe because it sees it as who knows? We don't know what the morality of AGI is. Does it do things that's good for society? Does it care? This is a thing called alignment. Does its values align with ours? Is it just mischievous or mischievous, as people say? I don't know. But let's assume this thing says one day, breast cancer. It's going to put an end to that. It has a access to every mammogram ever taken and record anything that's recorded mammogram. It has it. It knows growth patterns. It knows angiogenesis. It knows tumor neoplasm production. It knows memory. This is versus this in situ. This is BRCA 1, 2, 3, 4 genetic. It knows. It knows. Oh my God! Immediately, in 1 hour, it knows everything there is to know about breast cancer. All of the forget Sloan Kettering, MD Anderson, all in one. Ta-da! And it makes thousands of them. I didn't tell you that one. Recursive self-improvement, it replicates itself. So there's 1,000 of these. All of a sudden, there's 1,000. I don't know where they are, but they're there. And it decides, here's how we know. This is how we stop cancer. This is the way we do it. So it could be interesting. I've got a friend of mine who's a radiologist, and I said, "This is going to put you out of business." He said, "Oh, absolutely." Imagine this: a woman gets her mammogram, maybe has those terrible mammograms. It's very painful and squishes. Anyway, you got it. You're fine. That's it. You haven't even put your jacket on. It's already done. Finished. We zoom in. All done. No need for humans. No, just there it is. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But I don't know if it'll do that. I don't know if you can direct it. You might say, hey, can we find cancer? No. Why? Because we think that, believe it or not, cancer might be a part of evolution, which actually benefits mankind because it kind of thins the herd and maybe, wait a minute, what? What? Mr. AGI might say, yeah, we don't like you. We think you are inferior. We want to kill you. Beg your pardon? We want to kill you. We don't need, you are a virus to us. You are scum. You are imperfect. We hate you. Is that impossible? Absolutely not. Sam Altman talking about that? Hell no. What if it hates us? You're killing each other? Again, I don't even know if it has any morals, or I'm not even sure what that even means. Think about this for a second. This is just incredible. Hang on for a second. I know this is very difficult for you. I know. And I know, believe me, this is weird. This is weird stuff. And I understand it. So take a breather. Think very quickly. How about something very, very simple like pillows? That's nice. It'll make the best. Put it this way. Artificial General Intelligence, AGI, could not come up with a better pillow than we have at mypillow.com. Promo code Lionel. All right, my friend. It's time to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. No purchase necessary. I know a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But listen carefully. What are we talking about? Giza Dream Bed Sheets, My Pillow 2.0, sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. Think about it. And they're monster sellers right now. Listen to me. Slippers. My slippers. Think about it. What do they do with My Pillow? They make things real soft and plush and comfy. How perfect. And when they apply that genius to slippers, look out. Look out. Look at the specials right now, but only if you use promo code Lionel. So go to mypillow.com/Lionel. Solidus or Virgil. mypillow.com/Lionel or call 800-645-4965. Call right now and watch how fast Mike answers the phone. mypillow.com, the best. Indeed, my friend. Indeed. Hey, look, here's something interesting. Very, very interesting. I find something fascinating. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan B or Jordan or Jordan B, I don't know. The other day I watched a AI generated video of Elvis singing a Depeche Mode song that looked and sounded totally believable. That's very, very simple. That's mild. That's not what I'm talking about. But that gives you an idea of what it looks like. Let me give you an example. Let's assume you find you have a person who has in his possession, and by the way, going back to AI, AI is easy. AGI is what I'm talking about. That's the scary part. AI is okay. But while we're doing this, let's say a person has in their possession a series of what we would call, well, it used to be called child pornography, what we call child sexual abuse material, CSAM. That's the preferred version of this, but CSAM, okay? And this person has nothing but, just drives of absolute, Epstein level drives of all of this stuff that's just, my God, you can't believe it. And the individual says, excuse me, yes, this is all AI generated. These aren't real children. Not one person is real. Not one. And it looks so real. Should you charge somebody with possession of child sexual abuse material? Yes or no, if they were AI created and there's no human involved? Yes or no? Very simple. My friends, you're the juror. This is the jury. What do you think? Yes or no? One or two? Yes or no? Yes or two? Yes or no? Looks just like it. It's scary. There is no way to even tell. But it's all artificially, intelligently created, and no humans. So Anna says yes. What do you think? Should that be against the law? Yes or no? Oh, wait. Gloria says yes. Sadly, no. What do you think? We got yes, yes, no, yes. Okay. Come on, more. Yes or no? Number one is yes. Number two is no. Very simple. One or two. Yes or no? You're in possession of this. It's not real. It's computer. Yes. Still not right to have it. It's not right to have it. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Keep going. Come on. There's more of us. Come on. Come on. Very simple. Some of you right now are watching. You're thinking, oh, well, how do I answer this thing? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, because addiction is progressive. Okay. Good. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Let me stop right there. What about a book? A book that doesn't show pictures of it, but it just details it. Fantasy, fiction, make believe, thoughts, dreams, sick fantasies of what they would do and how they would do it, and how this, how that. What do you think about that? Anybody? Should books, written word books, very well written, very, should books be banned as well? Yes or no? Come on. No. Oh, interesting. No. Team says no. Okay, what else? Come on, let's go. Come on. Books. Should books be banned? Come on, let's see. Let's get an idea. Come on. No. Oh, look at this. No. No. Oh, I like this. Yes. Susie's consistent. Susie says yes. Do not have books. Okay. What about? Okay. What's the difference between an artificial intelligence, AI generated CSAM, and a book? What's the difference? Both are thoughts. Both are created in your mind. There's nobody actually there. It's just a thought. One is written word. One is a picture. What if it's drawn? What if it's drawn? Stick figure. Well, that's not very good. Okay, how about Norman Rockwell, Chuck Close category? Wow, that's a different story. So what you're saying is the more it looks real and the more you can see it, the more you're likely to say yes. If it's a thought, if it's written word, well, and I submit to you, they're identical. They're a thought. They're a thought. This is a thought that's manifested in terms of graphics. It's disgusting, of course. This is a thought manifested in written word. Disgusting. And this is a thought which is drawn or sketched. All of them are thoughts. And you're trying to violate, you're trying to by the way, M. Stokes says Mrs. L had great interview today. Yes, she did. Thank you. Don't forget to follow her. Don't forget to follow her. Let me ask you this question. You're dangerously. The answer is CSAM is human beings. And the reason why we don't like this, the reason why it's verboten, the reason why it's illegal is because it is a crime scene. This happened to a child. Forget the sexual titillation that this kind of this violent depiction may cause. This happened. This is a crime scene. And this is a crime scene that is lived every time this is disseminated. And unless there is something to quash, to disincentivize those individuals who do this, people are going to do it again. So you want people to be caught and clobbered and not have this so that kids will not be bothered, abused, raped, battered, destroyed, emotionally and spiritually eviscerated, and then have it recorded. That's the thing. If there's no children involved, if it's now we have a different level. Now we say, okay, now we talk about something else. But in my mind, unless there's an actual human being, it's a thought. What degree of CSAM, child sexual abuse material, would you prohibit? Romeo and Juliet? Oh, come on, that's different. What do you mean it's different? Lolita? Nabokov or Nabokov? What? Summer of 42? Remember that one? How about Bobby Goldsboro, that song, Summer the First Time? How about songs about May, December, love? How about... This is just a movie. This is just a depiction. This is just a thought. Yeah, but that's different. Why is that different? Well, he's a boy. She's a woman. You see how we get into this? It's a thought. And we do not allow thought crimes to be prosecuted, no matter what the thought is, period. You can have, I've got a book right now. You can get it online. It's Mein Kampf. It's an architect. It's a blueprint for genocide, real genocide, and the extermination of an entire people. That's okay. That's a thought. Well, it's history. Yes, you should allow that as well. We had a book here, the Anarchist Cookbook, books on how to make bombs, and that's a thought. Now, here's something even more troubling. We take this, and I create for you the most lifelike, doll. It looks like an infant or a toddler. And you can't believe how real it is. You can't believe. And we're not talking about this. Hello, how are you? Oh, no. I mean, skin that's rubescent, that flushes, and horripilation, and goosebumps, and eyes dilating, and I mean, oh my God. But it's not real. It's not a human. It's a machine that knows you and can show, and it will learn you. It will say, you get turned on by fear. Okay, I'll show you fear. Oh, I like that. Okay. And it plays you. It knows your own kink, your own perversion, your own violence, your own everything. It's tailor-made to read you. I mean, it's like no other toy or thing you've ever seen. You're going to ban that too? You're going to ban it? People say, well, that's an addiction. Addiction to what? Addiction to toys or addiction to the real people? Is that going to say, you know what? That's merely going to entice people. They're going to say, oh, I don't want that. I want the real thing. And risk prosecution and risk maybe the death penalty, which I think might be a good idea. Risk prison, risk ignominy, no, versus this. This thing will never, this is better. You don't have to, there's no risk involved. Some people might argue, this might actually control or quell and put a lid on a lot of people who, but for these devices, would go out and actually victimize people. So you want to play around with this? Maybe, maybe not. Addiction. Now we're getting into the notion of getting rid of thought, which is the same thing that these Bankmans, these Altmans rather, they talk about. Well, the only thing they worry about is whether AI would ever give out misinformation, disinformation, hate speech. That's the only thing they care about. Excuse me. What is hate? What is this? I'll define that. I want to live in a world where every time you tell somebody you cannot think something, have something, possess something, own something, use something, express yourself, say something, think something as a law, imagine you're cutting off a digit. And better be a damn good reason why we're doing this. And it may be disgusting, and I may think it's ridiculous, and I may hate it, but it's a thought. It's just a thought. And do you think people think nice thoughts? Do you think that? Do you think that? What if there was some kind of some weird VR, some virtual reality, some weird immersive world where you're actually in some death camp and you're throwing people into ovens and you get a kick out of that. And there are these programs that say it's so real. You gonna get rid of that too? It's a terrible thought. It's a thought. Anybody? Anybody? Tell me what you can't think. Tell me. Because that's what we're gonna have to deal with. When somebody comes up and they say, I have a thought for you that is so monumentally wild. Same thing with chemicals, same thing with hallucinogenics, same thing with everything. Same thing. We're going to change everything. I'm already changing. I'm going to be changing weight loss. Ozempic and Wegovy. I'm going to do that. I'm going to change opinion. I'm going to be able to give you something which will maybe increase your intelligence, maybe something that will I can take something which is illegal, change a molecule here and there, and it's not the illegal thing anymore. Tell me where the government shuts me down. Tell me. I'm not hurting anybody but myself. I'm just thinking stuff. Nobody's hurt. No animals were hurt. Nobody. No, nothing. This is my sick, demented mind. And if ever I traverse that, if ever I go into something where I actually hurt people, whatever the motivation, whatever the reason, whatever the reason, then they should stop me and imprison me, kill me, whatever you want to do. But not if it's only contained as to thought. Period. Period. You don't ever penalize thought. Ever. Ever. That's why when these people talk about, we're going to go after the pedophiles. No, we got to go after the traffickers. We have to go after the rapists. What do you call somebody who is a rapist? A man who targets women in their 30s. What do you call that? A heterosexual? What do you call that? We don't even call it that. We don't even care about. You're missing the point. It's what they're doing, not what their attraction is. We don't care. You can have all the rape fantasies you want. The moment it traverses into reality is a different story. Here's one for you. What if you found out that your eldest son was having his way with an animal, but it was an animal of the opposite sex, which makes no sense? Would you feel better? No. That's what this is. It's the same thing. We have no appreciation for the criticality of free speech, of free thought. We have no interest whatsoever in this. I don't know what it is. And I don't know whatever happened to us. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how we lost this. Since I have been a kid, somebody has been trying to shut down a song, a book, a movie. Remember when there was a movie years ago called I Am Curious Yellow. Remember that? It was rated X. I remember I was like in grade school. I Am Curious, I think Yellow or something. X, rated X. Remember this one? Remember that name? I thought, I thought Yellow. I was kind of reading into it. And this was 1967. It was a Swedish, of course, erotic film. I Am Curious, Yellow, a film in yellow, a Swedish erotic film. There's a plot. The director plans to make a social film starring his lover, Lena Nyman, a young theater student. Okay, fine. Okay. This everybody was going crazy over this. There was I Am Curious Blue, which is like 3.5 hours. Anyway, I remember them going nuts over this. Oh, here's it for you. There is a movie which I think is one of the most disturbing movies ever. And it is horrible. Let me see. There is it was a movie called Leon the Professional. Remember that? And it has Jean Reno, Gary Oldman, Natalie Portman. Absolutely one of the most no good. That kid, the relationship, no. This and Luc Besson, the director, this guy's okay. Now, would I ban it? No. Do not like this movie at all. It is sick. Here's another movie. Okay. And by the way, this is not artificial intelligence. This is, it's called Manhattan with Mario Hemingway. Remember this one? And this was if ever you want to see how absolutely sick Woody Allen is, this is the one. This is a 42-year-old man who dates a 17-year-old girl who falls in love with his best. Okay. Now, absolutely, positively dangerous in thought, dangerous in what it promotes, dangerous in how it gives the kind of the imprimatur. Is it, well, if Woody Allen can do it, and if this is okay, absolutely sick, demented, dangerous, nothing explicit. Now, should you ban that? No, of course not. I can come out against it. I can warn you of it. How do I protect you from terrible thoughts? Lot's daughters. Remember that? Remember Lot? Remember that? Got him drunk. Remember this one? Remember this story? So that people don't think I'm making this up. Because most people who are look at this. This is believing that there were no men left alive. The two chaste daughters conspired to get their father drunk with wine and each conceive a child by him in order to continued the family line. The incestuous relations resulted in the birth of Moab and Ben Ami, founders of the Moabites and Ammonites. Now, you want to ban that? You want to ban that? You want to do that? This is the Bible. How weird is that? You want to ban that? No. But you want to ban something that is artificially intelligent that look, well, it could lead to addiction. Well, what if somebody reads the Bible and gets addicted to this weird kind of a eschatological end of times, weird kind of rape incest fantasy? Do you see where you're going with this? Yeah, but that doesn't count. What? You say that. What if somebody else reads that? What if somebody else reads this? This is the thing which you have to understand. And I've given you right now the story of artificial intelligence, AI, alignment, morality. Who's in charge? We don't know. Is there any end to it? No. What happens when this creates this? There's no parking. So do we shut down our expression in order to, rather than fix or talk about it now? No. You never can hear any of these Silicon Valley geeks or nerds or freaks or dweebs ever talk about this. They're going to be talking about other things, about jobs. Because when it comes to morality, we talk a great game. Tomorrow is Sunday, depending upon where you are right now. And people will be going to church. And they will be going through this formulaic, pretend kind of, and they'll say, I feel good. I like it. They will cover nothing of importance. They will deal with no really systematic, intrinsic, existential issues as far as humanity. No, it'll be the most trite, simple little organ music. Read a few verses. Okay, that's my religion. Be good. Thoughts for the day. When we should be dropping to our knees and saying, Holy God. We don't do that. We never do that. Nobody does it. Some people do it, but very few. And what religion is this facade, this charade. Look, see, you're a moral person. You're going in. See, you're not talking about anything worthwhile. Well, that's don't push it. Don't expect. Look, at least it's something. The real issue right now, and the very first thing I want to do is I want to go to the ICJ and say, excuse me, who are you to tell Israel or anybody that? Who are we as a species to say this kind of this murder is like this war is okay? Vietnam was okay. Korea was different than Somalia. But the women who were raped in the DRC in 2000, 250,000 to 300 women raped with fistulas. And anybody talk about that? Of course not. Why? Because nobody cares about their main export being chocolate. Nobody cares about that. So we love to do this thing. No more genocide. Okay, that's good. What about the other genocide? Well, that's technically not. Technically? Well, that's not really genocide. Who says? Well, under the rules? Wait a minute. What? Yeah, under the I hear these I love the stories of the I love the stories of the Medal of Honor. And there's this wonderful voice. At the age of 18. Oh, Lee Marvin. Lee Marvin was like in 21, major engaged, was in Marines, and oh my God, and he went and he just was I mean, he was incredible. He was really, and in 1942, this young man at the Battle of Joton, remember the Battle of Chateaubriand? I got mustard wounds all over my body. Anyway, he was he went and he saved the lives, and he was And he received the Medal of Honor. Now that's our guy. Vis-a-vis the other side, let's say the Germans, we were not the good ones. We were trying to kill them. Yeah, but they were wrong. Well, they didn't think they were wrong. We were wrong. Well, they thought we were wrong. Excuse me. We have Vietnam. We had Colin Powell, Vietnam, Norman Schwarzkopf trying to kill Vietnamese villagers and people. We were savages vis-a-vis them. You see how this works? So we can compartmentalize anything we want. That's the beauty of our intelligence. Don't do that. You might, oh, no, 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 because you might become addicted to that. Look, I know people want to talk about Nikki Haley and they want to talk about Fannie Willis and Trump and maybe DeSantis and hey, there's a new Tucker video that dropped or Vivek. That's great. We'll talk about that. And we can talk about Biden or Hunter Biden and that sort of stuff. And it's easy, it's low-hanging fruit, it's simple. But the stuff that is the most critical to the species, which is truly existential, nobody has anything to do with. Nothing. Not even close. I dare you to go find it. Find anywhere on YouTube. There's a couple of people who immediately say, "Uh-oh, we got a real problem there." Nobody's talking about that. Nobody. Uh-uh. We like simple things. We like simple subjects. We like sports. We like that. We like to talk about our, weather and, DEI. That's good. Oh, that's important. Claudine Gay, the Urkel-looking president of Harvard. That's good. We love anything race-related. We love that stuff. But when it comes to things that are happening right now behind our back, going on in Silicon Valley and the rest of the world, and that, believe me, Bill Gates is going to own this. If you think a little vaccine is a big deal, no. This has potentially the ruination, the enslavement of an entire species, namely us. Because once it's created, it's gone. And nobody will talk about it. Nobody, because nobody understands it. It's too dark. It's too whatever it is. So in the meantime, dear friends, people just want to say, just live easy peasy. And there it is, my friends, one more time, please. I would love to see you at the wonderful, the cutting room on the 3rd. Oh, yeah. You're not going to be hearing anybody talk about it. Believe me, we're not. I don't talk about this. That's too much. That's not fun. But I talk to you now about it. So you know what? People maybe will listen to this later. And remember, one day you're going to say, you know what? He was right. Oh, I've got so many of those things. You know what? He was talking about it, and I didn't really understand it. I'm thinking about AI in terms of deep fakes and, losing a job and maybe a robot or something. But he really was on to something. Mark my words, kiddies. All right, my friends, have a great and a glorious day. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and by the way, thank you, Jordan B. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. Thank you so much for your contribution to the cause, as it were. In any event, see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Don't forget these words, these final words. Monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you.